Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and asked that the mother has went for a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
Procurement is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, James, Christine, Adrian, Tony, Melanie, Jay. So good to see you guys. Deb is here. J Rose, Planet Jace, good to see you. So yeah, we're just going to revisit some of the 2018, let me put my little banner up, media reports. So we'll pretty much just go back in time to 2018 when this first broke and just kind of react to how the media was covering this case at the time. My friend Scottish Queen has the link. She may... Really, Planet Jace? We went to the beach and I had a hat on all day, so thank you so much. And thank you, Johnny, for letting me know. Sprinkled Donut, good to see everyone. So she may be joining me. She has the link if she can get it set up, and then I'll add her when she's on backstage here on StreamYard. So hit that like button. It really, really helps me get back into the algorithm and back into the swing of things. And yeah, we'll just pull up the videos. This channel has been out for a while. You guys might recognize it, but she has all the media stuff on there. Swear Kimberly is the channel. And yeah, it's August 16th, 2018. I'm just going to jump right into it. And then, like I said, I can add Scottish Queen if she gets the link and all that. Because I'm just exhausted from being in the sun today. But I wanted to make sure that I, stick with our Sunday night Watts content. And then Friday night, of course, we are doing Coburger. So those are the streams that you guys can look for. So Friday night and Sunday night. Here we go, guys. So we're just pretty much going to watch this and react to it. And I will source the questions in my Facebook group on the case. I've asked the Facebook group, which is like 69,000 people, like some of their most burning questions in the case. Let me see. We did start some of them last week. So let me pull up the post and see where we left off as far as answering some of them. Okay, so here's one we can start off with. What happened to the backyard camera? Is that how NK got in and out of the house? Is that how they took Shanann out of the house that night? I don't believe the narrative that he put her in the back seat of his truck through the garage. So I pretty much, some of that question, I just have to debunk. Like they never had a backyard camera. I've seen like numerous people kind of reference, what about the camera in the backyard? Like apparently something in the body cam footage looks like a camera, but they never had the camera out there because for one, there was nobody living behind them. So they never needed to. And for two, the only camera they had was the front doorbell one. So that was it. All the other things that come from like the Vivint alerts were alerts for when a door is open and closed. So when the garage opened and all that, like those were alerts. Those weren't like seen on camera or anything. So just had to debunk, the backyard camera, because that's not the first person who was under the impression that there was one there. So they never had one. In fact, I believe Nate, the neighbor, ended up adding a camera to his back after this whole crime. So, hey, Holly, good to see you. Let's see. So part of that question too, I absolutely do not believe that they brought Shanann in the truck that night. And I feel just like Cuff You thinks like she went out the back into an alternative vehicle. I'm curious who in chat thinks that she for sure went into Watts' truck. Remember the cadaver dog, again, I know that they're just used as a tool and that they're not admissible in court, but neither is the lie detector test. But the cadaver dogs, and they used more than one, never alerted to anything even in the garage or the truck. So we've talked about that numerous times, how the cadaver dog never alerts to the truck and that they didn't get a warrant from the company to go in the truck because they just didn't need one. By the time he was arrested and all that. Yeah, exactly. There was never any other footage from a camera from the house. Yeah, that there was no room in the back seat. I think that's accurate too. Yeah, it's very hard to move dead weight. And everyone likes to say, well, his adrenaline and he was working out. Like Chris is 5'10", I think, and he was in shape, but at the same time, like she was pregnant, 146 pounds, dead weight, no pun intended. And he knew that the neighbors had cameras. So as much as I think he's a complete idiot, I just don't think that he took her out the front and through the garage or in the truck at all. Yeah, and that's the thing that I always say too, Michelle, is like I never see anything that looks like he's like picking something super heavy up. And yeah, the truck didn't move. That truck had shocks. If you're loading and you're shimmying and shifting something 143 or 46 pounds, like there's gonna be the shocks of the truck. There's some movement. That truck was still the whole time. Never moved. Let's see what else in that question. So no, I don't think she was taken in the truck at all, and I don't think she went through the garage at all. So let's start with this. So it says August 16th. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. The husband of Shanann Watts confessed to the killing of pregnant wife and 2 young daughters. Now, this is another person's channel, so I don't want to criticize, but just to keep it factual, his confession at the time was not to killing Shanann and the 2 daughters. His confession at the time, despite what media was reporting after he was arrested, was that he killed Shanann because she killed the daughters. So I think that it's important to keep the story and the sequence of orders straight, regardless if he admits to it later down the road through the documents of the plea deal. That's different than when August 16th, when he was arrested.
Jenna, let me begin with you. Let's get right to the recovery of these 3 victims. It is a very unusual situation with regard to the local police. They say they think they have the wife. They think they actually do have the body of Shanann. They are not quite as clear when it comes to the 2 girls. Can you explain?
Yeah, so the Colorado Bureau of Investigation Chief Mark Hamper said in a press conference with the Frederick Police Department this morning here in Colorado that they think that they know where the bodies of the 2 little girls are, but he was very careful to not disclose anything about speculation about the cause of death, the manner of death, or really what the shape the bodies would be in at the point that they may recover them.
Tom Fuentes, what does that say to you, given the fact that he worked at a petroleum company and that he said he left for work at 5 o'clock in the morning the day all of this began to unravel?
Well, to me, it says that it may be a very difficult,
Hey,
maybe
Florida.
even impossible situation to try to recover the bodies. At a petroleum company, you could have dangerous acids and chemicals and vats and pools and drains, all kinds of things where you'd be able to dispose of soft tissue like a human body. And it's just gruesome to even think what possibly happened to those children.
I want to read from Shanann's Facebook post from just August 1st. August 1st, that would be 15 days ago, just 2 weeks ago, she was writing on Facebook, "Do you know what I love about waking up every day? It's a brand new day, to have a fresh start, to be better than I was yesterday, to help someone feel better and happier, to make someone smile and laugh."
I find it interesting actually to see this post because a lot of her posts are now gone. So this is interesting because this is no longer accessible to the public through Facebook.
Weeks later, police and investigators are combing through the house where she and those daughters and husband Chris lived, and instead are walking out with evidence bags. We're told large bags of evidence, and reports that Chris has made this confession. Jenna, what else do you know?
So you see that right on August 16th, 3 days after the crime, only a day or so after he's arrested, right? Yeah. She's saying, "Hey, Roxanne. Oh, thanks guys for being here." She is saying that through reports, so the media is already getting information. Like, we knew this right away from the night. Actually, it started on Twitter. At the time it was called Twitter. The night that he was arrested, it said 2 law enforcement officials have told us that Chris confessed to killing his whole family. And now Ashley Banfield, the first week, only a day after his arrest, are stating that they're hearing through their sources that he confessed to killing his whole family. If this wasn't a case that involved a sketchy mistress, I think I would just chalk it up to like, oh, well, information gets mixed up, and there's fake news and fake information, and people are playing telephone, or sources might not know everything 100% or relay everything 100%. But this was deliberately being told to the media, and they were investigating the law enforcement leak to the media at the time of his plea deal, which never got concluded, obviously, because of the plea deal. Large bags of evidence, take it out with what looks like garbage bags. Exactly. And everyone following true crime is like, you don't take garbage out in plastic bags. Like, everything was botched. Hey, Dustin. I remember watching his initial interview live and immediately knew he was guilty. The absolute sketchiest dude ever. Exactly. And he 100% is where he belongs. But I feel like the fact that the media is reporting a false confession, because I guess false information about a false confession, because he wasn't stating this at the time. It wouldn't matter if there wasn't a sketchy mistress who didn't have an alibi for the morning of the crime, who didn't lie to FBI and delete all her texts too. Not only texts, but her call logs with Watts on the day of the murder. Like, I don't need to go through the whole list, but if those didn't exist, I think I could understand, like, well, yeah, he did it all. What's it matter if the media was reporting it accurately at the time? Like, he's guilty. He absolutely is. But reporting correct information is important. And at this time, law enforcement, Frederick Police, and the district attorney's office was not releasing the arrest affidavit. The media is like, hey, can we get, the arrest affidavit? They weren't releasing it. The media never saw NK at this time, the mistress. The media didn't even know about the mistress really until, like, I don't know, not right away. it's just, if she was never involved, I could kind of chalk this up as like, well, I mean, he did it. So what's it matter if the media is saying the truth or not? But the fact that she's involved in this whole situation, she's a liar. She was cyber stalking the family before ever working with Chris. We don't know who actually was involved in this crime, like with the intricacies of it. Was there planning? Was there, all this stuff? Like, she was made a witness to the state, and they wanted her to be, hey, Shmita, they wanted her to be the Amber Fry of this case. But she was no Amber Fry. She was sketchy. She is sketchy.
About this alleged confession.
Yeah, so reports are coming out that that even after so many media interviews took place from the time that Shanann and the two little girls went missing, then late last night, the reports came out that Chris Watts did confess. He was detained. There's an affidavit for warrantless arrest. He's currently being held without bail. We learned that as well. And the Weld County District Attorney will file charges Monday.
Did Chris Watts, man accused of killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters, have the look of a grieving husband? And he absolutely didn't. Like, I 100% believe he planned and killed Shanann. Well, I shouldn't say 100%, but the children, in my theories, were never in Chris's plan. We don't have any DNA linking Chris to the victims, like necks, smothering them, nothing. So just keep that in mind. Like, yes, he's guilty. Yes, he could be involved in the killings, but who can say 100% that nobody else was there to help him? And Florida bass fishing, yeah, exactly. Who would want her as their friend? Florida bass fishing has always stood strong with the opinion that Chris just didn't have enough time that morning to complete everything himself. And I 100% agree. His co-workers were showing up. Hey, Cindy. And yeah, Amber Fried actually helped law enforcement. NK lied and deleted everything. And the district attorney, in his own words, admitted that she impeded the investigation. So, yeah, the brown bikinied woman. A lot of people see her as very similar in her police interviews as what's her name, Jodi Arias and Casey Anthony. Those are people who are compared to Nicole Kessinger. So what does that tell you? Florida, yeah, Adrian agrees. Absolutely not. Definitely wasn't alone. May have happened 7 years ago, but I still feel the same. And no matter how much they try to tell us that he acted alone, we have numerous sources of people who have talked to Chris since he's been in prison who have said, he's said things that alludes to NK having more involvement. So take that for what you will. Some people say, well, they're from other convicted felons. Why should we believe them? Actually, they all weren't. That Anna girl who talked to him with the red hair, like if you go back to media reports when this first happened, and she came out after he was in prison and said that she was friends with him or whatever, she alluded to NK having more involvement. That Christina girl who was dating, quote unquote, Dylan while he was in prison, who was Chris's roommate, and then Dylan, oh wait, no, she started talking with Chris and then Chris handed her off to Dylan. That's what it was. She, is strong in her opinion about NK having involvement. Like her or not, Cadel has been in text messages, screenshots that were circulating, telling Watts' family that she believes that there's more to the mistress and all this. So one day he will talk. He's got nothing to lose at this point. I don't know. Danielle's role, Jim's role, all that has been touched on in other streams. Very, very hard to kind of go down that speculation with very little information, but we have touched on it. Did they ever question her? Not that we know of, and it's good to see you, Ellie. Not that we know of. Again, we only have the discovery that was handed over at that time. There might have been more that we just never got. We know that there's more information that they're sitting on and not giving us, regardless if the case is over or not. So I watched the Chaos Manson documentary on Netflix last night. Ooh, I'm going to watch that. I think I had a dream and NK was in it. She's always reminded me of the girl from the Manson family. I guess that's why she does. What's her name? Susan something, maybe? He has been talking to other roommates, but all his born-again psychobabbles the way that he speaks yet doesn't wash with me. I'm only listening and hearing him accept his role as well as disclose NKs. Yeah. And the stuff that he kind of alludes to, too. It's like, for one, like you said, now when we're not mocking Born Again, we're mocking Chris, because months after this happened, in February in the prison interview, he claimed to be this born again Christian. And then he continued to lie in that whole prison interview about something. Susan Atkins, yes, she does. So, that's the thing. When he says in his latest statement, she was a Jezebel who, swayed me, and God will judge her or deal with her someday. Like, when he talks that way, it's like, just get straight to it. Like, just tell us what happened then. Sick of it. They interviewed Jen, but didn't release it. Makes me wonder what he said. So they didn't want to talk to anyone else, but they talked to everyone connected to Shanann. Right. We have like Shanann's girlfriends in the MLM. Some of them she never even really saw that much, but they were like involved in text messages with her and all that. Where is like the definitive proof? Because I know that had been speculated on, Shamita, and I know that you've been following this closely, from the beginning and have good research. And actually you had really interesting posts that you shared with me from Jim's Facebook page before he like closed everything down and made everything privatized. He is a gun lover, which is fine, but it's relevant in this case because of the shell casings and all that were found near the dumpster area, and the gunshot that was heard by the neighbor that night before Shanann gets home. A lot of people have said, how is that relevant? It happened before Shanann even got home. Well, if there's other people involved, and, just use your imagination. And you guys know that I reached out to that neighbor in the discovery, and I asked how common that would be. I mean, that neighborhood is an HOA neighborhood. She made it very clear it's abnormal. It's not usual. That's why she noted it, and that's why she called the tip line the next day after she knew that Shanann and the girls were missing. Yeah, totally not suspicious at all, And that was where the dog was, the tracking dog was kind of freaking out a little bit. There was some activity. And the post from Jim with the gun that says snitches get stitches. And the other thing too, to kind of, and this is all relevant, this is true. He was like a part of a lot of Facebook groups that were very radically charged, ultra left based Facebook groups and pages. Like, when you could go to somebody's Facebook and go to like about section, and it would say like likes and all that, and then it would say like pages that they've liked and all that, like stuff like that he was involved with. And like some of it was satire pages, but they were still kind of like politically charged ones, like showed the Capitol building like blowing up and stuff like that. Yes, Jay. Yeah. I have a live stream on that I did with CDT. It's members only, I think, but I have like screenshots of those pages and sites that he was into. So Yes, she was. She was, James, because she's a smart person. Let's face it. As much as I like to trash her, we can absolutely agree. I think that she's clever in her ways. We caught her in her lies, but at the time, I'm not so sure Kobach was catching her in the lies. Or if he was, he kind of knew that his hands were tied because the DA pretty much said, she's our witness, we need her. But she is definitely smart. And I think that she knows, like, any woman knows the power that they can have when they stick those parts out, James. I think NK was well aware of her capabilities to manipulate, and that was part of it. And I think that Watts was just so weak and stupid that he fell for those manipulations too. And I think that Kobach probably did too. Because there was never a point where Kobach was like, well, wait, you told FBI agent Mark that you never did go out to dates in public with him, and that, the lazy dog was the only time that you did. Like, nothing was ever checked on and followed up with. Targeting men who are dumb like him. And I think that it's just all been part of the plan. And then this is pretty much what I think it is too, Jay. Like, maybe they got the idea of maybe faking an eco-terror attack. That oil leak that morning, I still stand by that being very important to everything that went down. And that was why he was out there.
Body language expert Janine Driver. Janine, I want you to look alongside our viewers and me at this moment that Chris Watts appealed to all of us to help him find his family.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
This house is not complete. I hate to put myself in the shoes of anybody who's missing a family, but oftentimes behavior is the first thing that investigators seize on. Janine?
First of all, the house is not complete. The house misses her. How about her? Him missing her. He also doesn't say my wife, my kids here. He's keeping it more distancing. We call this distancing language. The concern that I have here.
And you guys know, like, we've watched that interview so many times. Chris will say things like, I just want those kids to come running through those doors and barrel rush me, and I miss those kids throwing chicken nuggets at me. It was always the kids. It was never Shanann, which leads me to think he distanced himself in that interview from Shanann because he had direct involvement, and I'll still stand by it. I'm not 100% sure, and nobody can say 100% because we don't have a time of death for anyone. And no, it's not because they were in oil for days. Like, if this went to trial, there would have been an expert for the defense and an expert for the state, and both of them would have given their estimations of time of death for those who were even in oil. Now, Shanann wasn't in oil, so why do we not have an estimated time of death? Well, it never got to that point because that probably would have been something that came out in trial. Like, medical examiners, doctors would have been like, so what do you think? Regardless, I'm not 100% sure that Chris knew the children were alive or dead during that interview, and I still will stand by that the children weren't in his initial plans. And I really think that if he's involved in the children's deaths, it was because, like, they witnessed too much. So again, I know people will be like, I can't believe you said that. I don't care. That's just what I feel. And I really don't know if he killed his own kids, which means I think that maybe there could have been other people. I really do. If there wasn't a Jim involved, leave Jim alone. If NK's phone records that we have didn't show her calling Chris, hanging up, calling Jim, calling Chris, calling Jim, if her phone records didn't look like that, I probably wouldn't think that Jim might be involved in something. And you're right, we will never know. And yes, plea deals robbing us of good trials and the truth. The truth. And hey, Margie. And the thing too is the plea deals have also shown us in this case and in Idaho's case that the district attorney will paint this case as one way to the public. And then once information from the discovery and from the investigation comes out and they realize it was much worse, that happened in both cases. So in the Watts case, they found out that the children went alive to the Survey site with Chris. That's not what they were told at first. So when they agreed to Chris, when Shanann's family said, okay, take the death penalty off the table, they didn't know the truth, or we still don't know the truth. They didn't know that the kids left alive. The only reason why that came out was because the public said, I see something in Nate's footage. And then Chris was like, yeah, they left with me, and then Shanann's family was like, whoa, we didn't know that. We didn't know that, Bella watched all this and all this stuff. Like once they realized it was worse than what they had been told, they regretted going the route they did with the plea deal and taking a death penalty off the table for Chris and all that. And now Steve Goncalves has said the same thing. They never wanted the plea deal, but didn't have much of a choice with, there being so many other families involved in that case. They can't just say, do it my way. But they basically said, like, once they found out, like, the severity of it, and not even just their own child, like, once they found out that Xana had been stabbed 50 times, they were like, this is way worse than what we were told. So why are district attorneys, right, and it's crazy that they just sentence these people and the families don't even get to know the truth. And, we're sentencing them and putting them away. But the closure for the families and them feeling like they've been lied to too. So the district attorney is like, we're going to get justice for your daughter. We're going to get your justice. And then you find out like, wait, you guys knew that it was this bad though? Or why did you tell us it was this way? And then we find out it was that way. It's not true. It's not right. I'm not sure I believe that either, but all Chris does is lie. I know. But yet, they believe everything. Yeah, it really was. You don't remember any talk of Danielle? Oh, I mean, what do you want to know? What my level of involvement I think she had? I mean, I don't know. I just know that she was there the lazy dog night. NK hosted her that weekend, and NK prepped for anal relations with Chris that night and looked up explicit material on her phone involving threesomes. So I don't know if that had anything to do with Danielle or had something to do with Jim. Like, I don't know. And Danielle, she calls Daniel, my friend Daniel. Come to find out it was actually Danielle. So there seems to be some level of like her wanting to protect her for whatever reason. But I don't know. That's as far as I know. I think it's very odd timing for her to come in that weekend. And she looked a lot like Shanann. Like there's a picture of Danielle I saw. I thought it was Shanann. But that's another thing. Planet J's. It was me. I was the third person. Wow. And you lived to talk about it. In most affair cases, a spouse often kills his spouse, but not often the children. Right. And when there are situations where they do, do the whole family, usually the husband then does himself. So that didn't happen either. So it doesn't really fit the script of how they tried to feed it to us. I still find it's bullshit that no one ever reviewed. Yeah, it's bullshit that no one ever reviewed the restaurant surveillance. I guarantee that was the meeting place for the plan. And I bet NK would be on that video. Exactly. And their excuse in the discovery about it, like the manager, didn't save it, or it was something so ridiculous. And then they also said that the manager said, but if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. It's like, we just asked you for your help. Wasn't there like another thing that they couldn't find the receipt for that night too? I don't know. I can't 100% recall. But the thing about CBI is I don't trust them. I don't trust state police in Colorado, CBI. I think so, Matt. I've got numerous live streams on it. I really do. I think that was the plan, and I think Jim and NK were in on that. Yeah, they didn't push hard enough in this case from the start. It was like as soon as this case started, and once they knew that their star witness was sketchy herself and that the oil company was involved, because you remember, we linked the oil company donating to District Attorney Rourke's election, whatever it's called. Like, we linked it. So there is a direct connection between the district attorney and the oil company, rubbing each other's backs, having each other's backs in case something happens. All these restaurants have CCTV, even outside. DVRs that record for 30 days on hard drives that restarts. Yeah, exactly. And the thing too is like they waited so long to go get that footage, like to even ask about it. Scottish says she's coming. She's having technical difficulties. Oh dear. Girl, I'm getting tired. I don't know how much longer I can go. What was the extent of NK's cooperation? Exactly. And this is where it sucks because like it's just a theory. Like we don't know for sure. But from what we can pull from what the district attorney says, I think that can kind of back up the theory that, remember, he said she gave us bombshell evidence, bombshell information. Well, we listened to all the interviews and we didn't hear any bombshell information. So then I started thinking, was he lying? Was there no bombshell information and he's just trying to make her look better? Or did she call them up after her interview with FBI at the park and say, Chris, I talked to Chris and he told me where the bodies were. And then that's when she gives them the bombshell information and states to authorities, again, this is just speculation. I don't know this 100%. So please don't come for me and say that I'm speaking false. This is just my opinion based off of what the district attorney said. Hey, Paul. And she said, Chris told me where the bodies were. Did that happen? Or did NK have firsthand knowledge of where the bodies were and told the authorities that Chris told her? I mean, who's going to prove her wrong? They never fully investigated her. I think her existing they took as bombshell. Right. Well, she's the mistress. This paints the whole motive that he wanted to be with her. So the district attorney says she gave us bombshell information when really it was just him like not being able to explain like why she was lying and stuff and deleting things. So he's just like, well, she gave us bombshell information. Is it that? Or like I said, did she tell them where the bodies were and they took it as bombshell information, but it wasn't Chris that told her, it was her knowing. Because when they give Chris that paper of survey to label the bodies on, it's not how Netflix portrays it. So for all those thinking that Netflix, they do everything. Oh, hold on. She's here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Am I here? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Can chat hear you?
Hello. Can anybody hear me in chat?
I think they can. So
I'm looking at my tablet and can I do it better?
Yes, they hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, the queen has arrived, Cindy said. Now, do you want to just tell us how you got into the Watts case?
God, so long ago, isn't it? Wow. I broke my ankle in 2008 in February, and I was laid up for a year and a half. So that's how I ended up watching it as it unfolded, and then joined your group and the one criminality threes I was in. Can't remember the name of it. What was it called?
Truecrime Colorado, was it? Or no?
Something like that, yeah. Yours was only two, and then I kind of switched to yours, and me and you have been friends ever since. So
I know. And
so long.
So strange too. It's like this case in Colorado, a place that neither of us live, somehow unites someone in New York and someone in Scotland, and everyone here in chat, we're all here just digging into this case 7 years later. Like, are we nuts or what? Like,
I know. I mean, it just shows you the impact it's had on the world, because even over here, you know, as soon as the Netflix documentary burst on the screens over here, that was that. Nobody really spoke about it. But once that came on in Netflix, everybody was in, you know, straight into it. How could this happen? And, you know, people were kind of looking at their husbands a wee bit different than normal.
I know. Because they've like painted it as anybody could end up as Chris Watts, and it's like,
it's true. I mean, social media, we all do it. We all make our social media look great. You know, we put the best pictures up, the best days we have. We might put up some days that we're not having so great or blah, blah, blah to talk to people. But most of the time, it's like pregnancy photos or days we've had out, you know, and it makes your life seem a lot better. So, of course, Shanann's Facebook, and she was promoting for her business. So she had to make out as well that this is what this does, and, you know, so, yeah,
like, when you
definitely.
look at Facebook and you see, like, the summer, her posts and, you know, 4th of July, and it was pouring on her and she was in the rain in that picture, and then there's Cece's birthday video, and then there's them at the beach, like all this stuff, and even her picture of the girls like in those like bungee cord things, and you see Chris on his phone. He's like on his phone in the background, and like, you know, he's talking to NK, but like you you have no idea. All that time she's texting her girlfriend saying he's rejecting me.
And it's horrible. It must be horrible to be rejected from your husband. You know, us as women, I'm going to say it, us as women, when we have sex, we make love to our partners. It's not just sex. So for her to bring up the courage to ask him, and for him to then neglect, like not neglect her, but to flat out deny her, it would crush you.
Right.
You'd be thinking, am I really that unattractive? You know, things like that.
Yeah. And you're already kind of feeling that way too when you're pregnant anyways. So
exactly.
She's gone,
you know,
6 weeks without seeing her husband. She's
expecting
weight. Her body's changed. She finally sees her husband, and he pretty much says like, no. I mean, how would anyone in chat feel? Like it must have made her completely like sick.
Sorry, if I look down, I'm looking at chat just quickly, but
you're fine.
You know, everybody can see my roots that I need done.
Girl, don't even get me started. At least yours are dark. Mine are like white popping through.
Oh no, I've got grey spots coming through as well. It's just the blonde's easier to hide.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of hair, I really like Ashley Banfield's hair better like this than what she's currently.
I don't know what she has currently, because like over here she's not a big person, you know.
Yeah.
We don't see her unless it's on a YouTube channel or a documentary, you know. So I don't know what she looks like now, you know.
Yeah, she was
But yeah,
so into this case when it came out and did really good reporting.
yeah, she did. She was on to him right from the beginning, I think, as well. Like a lot of us, I can remember sitting watching Chris Watts do his porch interview, and I always remember it. And I was sitting with my family, and before it even came out, or before he was arrested, I was like, he's done this. You could just tell it was, I don't know, there was just something. He knew something, he did it, or, you know, definitely.
Yeah.
He's not a good liar. How he got away with having an affair for so long, I do not understand at all. If I'm speaking too fast, somebody tell me.
No, you're fine. I'm curious. Do you think the affair was longer than the 6 weeks that NK and Chris
I
claimed?
believe, yeah. Yeah. I believe it started when the last 4th of July, when NK was introduced by her other work or her dad. You know, the 4th of July before.
Yeah, I've heard that theory. I definitely think it was 2017
And
that they met.
Chris introduced her apparently to Shanann as a work colleague, but she didn't start working there till February, March. So I believe, and then she was looking them up before that. So she had to have had some relationship with them.
Him up first.
Yeah, that's what you do when you first get with somebody. What do? You look them up, you know?
Yeah.
I definitely believe it was, that wasn't just a 6. Nothing escalates as fast in 6 weeks like that to murder. There's no way, you know?
And Paul said, it was like April-ish. He said co-workers
What, the April, sorry?
Yeah. It was even earlier.
Sorry if I get the date, if I get the months wrong in that, but it's been a while since we've chatted. So
no, you're fine. I'm the same way. I'm like, wait, was that? And there's so much false information too that I'm like, wait, is that even real?
And
or is that a theory?
I know, but I definitely think, I don't know where they've met. I don't know if Chris was going to a gym beforehand.
I think so.
Private gym.
I
think.
think
there.
Because there were times that NK like slips up and she's like, I was looking for an apartment for him and to be close to work and to the gym. Like what gym? Like there must be a gym in Brighton. And there's a police note in the discovery files, like it's a handwritten note, and it says something that says like gym or something. Not Jim, Jim alone, like GYM. I don't know.
I believe, I'm pretty sure that before he got all the equipment for down the stairs, he was going to a private gym somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how I know that. I don't know. Maybe we've discussed it. It's been discussed in the 7, is it 7 years now? 8 years? God,
I think that would have been something that would have come out in a trial.
Yeah, definitely. It should have been a trial.
They couldn't let it come out that they met at the gym in 2017 because they already had NK on record stating that it was at work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they made, I don't know, it just seems silly. They made up the silly email. Hi, it was nice meeting you and talking to you. It just seems so false, that kind of email. As if it was kind of set up, you know. Who emails from their work email? Something like that.
I want
knowing that it could lead back.
As you have with your wife.
Yeah.
Or with it, I totally agree that I think that those emails were staged. I think that they were already spotted, which we know for a fact because of Anthony Brown's interview. They were already spotted flirting.
Yeah, sure they were constantly.
Yeah.
Was it on the chat, the group chat for the work?
Yeah.
They were saying that she was quite a flirt and that she was always with him. Sorry, I keep putting in. On you
No,
go.
you're totally fine.
You know what?
You're remembering
Once
things
I
that
start
forgot.
talking,
But yeah, there
once we
was a
start talking,
thread.
that's me.
No, you're
But
fine.
yeah, definitely.
A
Yeah.
lot of people think that Watts has autism, Paul. You're not the only one. But yeah, I mean, they staged those emails. I don't know how you feel about the explosion plan, but in my theory, they staged those emails to make it look like she was distancing herself from him.
Yeah.
When this explosion does happen months later, because those emails were June.
She can say the affair's over. It's been over with for months. Or Shanann must have just found out, and this is her kicked off, or I don't know what the
Something
explosion
where
plan
those emails
was
would have
again.
kind of backed up her story of saying that she was distancing herself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because remember, she's health and safety.
Yeah, so she would be in charge of the tanks as well.
Yeah.
You know, if the alarm goes off when it gets towards a certain weight or level, she was in charge of that.
Right.
So, yeah.
So if she's already been seen flirting with the guy who's at the site that ends up exploding, they're going to be like, wait a minute, your health and safety.
And it would be the first explosion, and it wasn't the last one, so it would be plausible, depending on if they could make it look like Shanann and the girls died in the explosion. That's the part, which they probably, their body would probably burn to nothing. It's oil, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read crude oil with the girls, they would have turned to sludge within a month, and then they would have went down the waste pipe, and you would never have found them.
Exactly.
So,
and that's why she was put in that shallow grave, because the plan didn't happen, and they had to abort the plan. And the rake that was left standing straight up near her shallow grave, I think someone or Chris himself left it there so that he knew where to find her later. Like, I think he had full intention of like going back there that day and like following.
Yeah. Or at night, because during the day you can see it pretty well where the grave is.
Yeah.
So maybe at night, I think as well. But then I don't know. There was a plan. There was definitely a plan. I believe that NK was going to actually look like Shanann, dress in her clothes, maybe wear a pair of her sunglasses or hat, and put the 2 car seats in the Lexus and drive out, and it would look in Nate's car as if she had left while Chris was at work. So he wouldn't be a suspect for anything, you know.
Right.
Or that, you know,
He's
or that
just
she was going to
involved in
take
the
the
explosion that happens there. He wasn't there. Like, she's leaving, and everyone would have seen somebody take the Lexus.
And NK probably from a distance with her hair tied up, with maybe Shanann's clothes on or sunglasses, and the tinted windows at the side. She could possibly get away with looking like Shanann at a distance from Nate's camera, at least.
Yeah.
As long as she didn't look, you know.
Right. And then Nate's camera didn't show us the best view of anything. So it would have been somebody was going to bring that Lexus out there. And I think that the wedding ring was in the Lexus.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah. I don't know. Wasn't there a friend as well that looked quite like Shanann? Danielle, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't she have dark hair, didn't she, as well?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could have been one of the two of them, you know, definitely. Somebody was driving that out, you know. And you wouldn't see the girls, because when they're in the car seats,
right.
The side one, they had blinds, kind of shutter kind of things for when they're sleeping. Yeah. Couldn't think what they were there. I don't have a car. So I think that anybody driving out would just think that's Shanann. She's maybe found out about the affair, or she was taking the boots to, if it was the explosion theory, like you believe, she was taking the boots up.
Because why were the boots in the cargo area?
And why was he wearing old boots? But then, for digging a grave, I suppose you're going to wear your oldest.
True, I guess you would wear your old stuff if you were going to. But why have them in the cargo spot? Why not just have them at home in his garage or his, closet or something?
Yeah, I know. Very
people don't. I guess for those who don't know what we're talking about with the boots, like he had a new pair of work boots that were in the trunk of the Lexus, but it wasn't in the trunk part. Like in that Lexus style, there's a part that you can so imagine a SUV trunk, and then the floor, it popped up and there was like a little cubby in there that you could store like extra things in too, like maybe change your tire kit or whatever. So his new boots, work boots, were in that cargo area. And the only reason why I came up with the boot theory was because of Chris's own words to Tammy. He says something about needing to bring extra clothes because he spilled oil on himself one time and had like a headache for weeks. So then we were kind of thinking about it and came up with the idea, like, were they going to stage text messages between the two? And he would have said, I spilled oil on myself. Can you bring out my new boots? And that would have given Shanann the reason to, again, it wouldn't have been Shanann because she was taken out the back already, but stayed through with her phone, which they couldn't get into because she just changed her password, that she would say, okay, I'll bring them out there. But the thing is, people don't understand is she wouldn't have had to drive out to the tanks for the explosion. Those tanks have underground pipes, and this was already confirmed in the interviews that specific oil site had a broken one, under the ground. So that means wherever it's leaking, the explosion could have happened not at the tanks, but wherever it goes to, which goes, those ones were all over the property.
Yeah, I definitely believe there's something, definitely. There's more involved than just Chris and NK, I believe, definitely.
Yeah.
Am I moving?
I'm moving. So many people, don't you think, over the years have kind of followed our lead with that event? There's so many people now who are this is weird. This mistress seems involved more so in the 7 years than they ever have before.
Yeah, of course, because when we were doing it at the beginning, I mean, when I came on, many years ago, the last time I was on, it was just all coming out. So everything was just bit by bit. And we had to wait a while before we actually got a lot of the stuff, that we know now. But even then, you kind of had a feeling that, she's got something to do with it. Definitely.
Yeah. And remember when the family was Shanann's family was no, they told us that they didn't find anything with her involvement, and we've seen things that other people have. And then when Plunder threatened to sue Weld County, hold on, I got a cough.
It's okay. I have had a little drink of my hotel chocolate espresso because I needed something for my nerves. So
oh my God,
that's what I'm drinking.
Nervous about. There's only 81 people watching because everything in the U.S. right now is crazy. Won't get into it.
Oh, I know. I am sending my love to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sending my love to everyone, regardless.
That we got. I'm proud that we have right now because I know people are kind of distracted at the moment. But Holly has a good question. I don't think Chris even knew about the doctor's appointment. Does he even say he did? And if he did, that would be even dumber. to unalive your wife between the night before a doctor's appointment being pregnant, right?
Well,
Like,
didn't she make the doctor's appointment because she was feeling unwell over the weekend? But then, wouldn't that be the first thing you tell your husband?
right. Before she even came home, you would think there would have been a text message about it.
You know, how you feeling? You know, something like that. If I remember correctly, she wasn't feeling well, and her friend, she wasn't eating because I think she'd found the receipt that proved he was having the affair.
Yep.
And she knew she had to go home and confront him. So, but I think that, I don't know, I don't even know when she planned that doctor's appointment.
I don't even know when the plan of it was, because they had just gone to the Sano before she went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Chris couldn't make it, like she brought Bella or whatever. So this doctor's appointment, Chris never mentioned it, Holly. In fact, in the prison interview, he says, like, I didn't know why she was even there, like referring to Nicole Atkinson. He's like, did she have an appointment with Shanann? Like, I didn't even know why she was there. And the only reason why Nicole Atkinson was there was because she texted about, like, let me know how the doctor's appointment goes.
Yeah, because she was really sore the night before on the plane home. She was having back pain. So she was worried, I think, about the baby. So she must have phoned it in over the weekend, maybe. But that would, maybe she'd phoned and told him, you know, there might not be a record in text, but it might be something that you would phone your husband and say, hey, I've got a doctor's appointment. Or maybe he was disconnected, maybe he just didn't care, you know.
Right. Maybe he
was trying to kill the baby already, so I mean, he'd already tried to kill the baby, North Carolina, so you know, you don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think he really cared, to be honest, whether she went to the doctor or not. I think he went to work and she done whatever she did with the kids and her work and that.
Yeah,
I think at the end, the week after they came back from North Carolina, I think that's when the true kind of split was happening. Not when Chris said, oh, I'm sleeping here. And, you know, I think that was just to keep NK happy, because how did Shanann get pregnant if they weren't having sex? And she said they were having sex right up to she left.
Yeah.
To North Carolina. So that was only 6 weeks before, you know. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's such a hard case, because you're like, how can you do that? You know, I don't know.
And to top it off, so many things could just be cleared up. Like, if we had the trial, like the whole lie, like that they had said that night.
Not that I'm saying we want to see autopsy photos, but I would like to know the injuries.
Right.
Because that would explain a lot. Because as you know, I believe that Shanann was took to the grave and then strangled. You know, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
With the girls. I don't believe she died in the house.
No.
She might have been unconscious. She might have been tied up, or, you know, she was manhandled or whatever. But I think all three were killed out in Survey, and I think Shanann was walked her grave, put in the sheet over her, strangled, sheet off, dumped in, and the dirt put over her, you know.
And that's what took so long for him to get home to Nicole Atkinson and the cops.
Yeah.
Because I think that it was like, oh shoot, like there's a cops at your house. Like, again, I think other people were at Survey with him. So that's the whole thing in my mind.
Oh, definitely. I've always said this, I wish they had got somebody to do what the you don't call them a PF. What do you call it over there? Not the defense, the prosecution, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the district attorney or whatever. Yeah.
I wish, or the police, had actually went and done what he said he'd done and timed it. Because I guarantee you it doesn't take 45 minutes to do all that.
With the risk, and the thing is too, is like, guys, we're not just saying Chris couldn't have done it in 45 minutes. We're showing you guys, or telling you guys, we have evidence in what the information they gave us of Chris texting people, of him calling people on his work laptop in that time. So it wasn't like, well, he can do it. He was on adrenaline, but okay, so he's doing that, but he's also calling Troy, and he's also texting Cody, and he's also on his
canceling the school.
Yeah. And then staging text to Shanann, if you take the kids anywhere, let me know. So how can he do all that? And mind you, changing his outfit 3 times.
Exactly. You know, nah. Somebody, the more people were definitely there. Definitely. You know.
Yeah.
And I think more than NK.
Yeah, me too.
I would put my bet on it, you know, maybe leave Jim alone.
Yeah.
Because I think he actually had a soft spot for NK as well. I think there was a bit of competition between him and Chris, you know, and she would have been playing them off, you know, she'd have been loving that. But definitely, I think she was with leave Jim alone. He had a key to the house, didn't he? So, I mean, you don't give that to anybody.
Yeah.
As well, you know.
Key to my place because, you know, my dog loves him, and sometimes he would be waiting for me to get home from work and like had to, you know, wait in his car. So it's like, no. I don't care how close I am with my friends. Like, I'm not giving some guy a key to my place.
Exactly.
I think that apartment was like probably paid by and lived in by NK and her crew. Like, it wasn't just her place. Like, it was like their little getaway area, like in that area to like, remember Chris said that she called it like her like safe place or something like that. Who calls their apartment that? It's like you live there, or it just seemed like it was like they're like headquarters or something.
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of coming and going from it.
Seemed like it.
Yeah.
And you never got to see inside of her apartment.
No. Sorry, I said that'd be good. I said it'd be good when I was on today.
Oh my gosh. And you know what's so funny? Like in line with that is like when I see Chris at the gas station footage, like in that video, I can't help but like think in my head, like, so wait, this is like all after like, hold on, let me see.
Double penetration and oh.
I think that because like
I don't even know. I'm like trying to see if he's walking.
Why is he in flip flops and socks?
Yeah,
rough of a night. Like you can't put your shoes on. Like I'm confused.
You can't bend. Oh,
I'm trying to find the video. Hang on. But
do you remember that everybody, once that came out, everybody was like texting double penetration to find out what it actually. Some people were meant. What does that actually mean?
Yes.
She made it famous.
And remember, the law enforcement notes were like, this wasn't the only time that these searches were found on her phone or something like that. She had spent like hours like looking stuff up like that. Like, okay, that I'm not trying to, they call it kink shaming. You know, I'm not trying to
everybody's got their little kinks. Whatever, you know, but
then I think about
that's too much. Two at the one time's too much. No way. In fact, nobody would get near my ass. Not even one. Never mind two. Sorry, Watts. Sorry.
Oh my God. I can't find this video. But the thing too is like if this went to trial, you know, gas stations have cameras like outside, right?
Yeah.
But
Because we have them here outside and in the shop.
yeah, but yet we only get the footage of them inside the gas station. I'm looking for this video, and apparently I cannot find. There we go. Let me switch my screen up.
And do you know what I find, just while you're doing it, find interesting as well? We never get footage of him after he leaves the house. You know, going to work. He must have passed so many cameras that it'd be good to see if there was a truck behind them, you know, following him. Things like that.
Like how is he not? Where is this? Oh my gosh, oh my god, you guys don't know, but StreamYard is just so not user friendly, and I'm like trying to pull this video up, and like it's just being so annoying. Okay, yeah, exactly. So you're telling me there was no street cameras in Colorado in 2018 to show us like the path that way, like anywhere?
Exactly. You know, I mean, I think he had to go on a motorway, didn't you? Didn't call it a motorway. What would you call it? A subway? No, no, a subway. Voila! We call it a motorway. What do you call it? A highway?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Like an
Do you know that way
expressway or
where
highway? Yeah.
the words right in the tip of my tongue, but I just couldn't get it out there, and I'm like, oh.
You're fine.
But there must have been, there must be for speeding, things like that, you know?
Absolutely. Like that would have been pulled. And then what? They didn't want us to see that the truck didn't have Shanann in it?
Yeah, and then the diners, all the places they went for dates, there's not one place that has them together.
Right.
Nowhere. There is no CCTV evidence of them together out there.
Right.
You know, like walking down the street, getting out the Lexus, getting into the garage, getting into the lady dog.
Because think
There's
about it.
nothing.
Nate's footage alone, like they could have tapped into Nate's like cloud, which like saves his footage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they would have done a subpoena and been like, okay, let's get the neighbor's footage.
Why didn't they go back, you know, with the Nate's footage? Because he said every time somebody walked by or a car drove by, why didn't they take it for the 6 weeks Shanann was away and see who was coming and going from the house?
And if they
It
did,
just seemed, you know,
if there was a trial, they would have, but they couldn't let that
Yeah.
come out for whatever reason.
because I bet you NK was
And Jim
coming and going from the house again. Ken.
Exactly.
I was trying to think another word. It's just not.
Oh, you're fine. That works perfectly. And also think about the DNA that would have, you know, if he smothered them and strangled her, like his DNA will be on her and them.
Yeah.
They said
Definitely Shanann. I mean, because she wasn't in the oil.
right.
So,
And think about it also like for the time of death to determine how, because you guys have all seen like true crime shows like Forensic Files and stuff, you know, like they have specific insects that go to a dead body like during the time period. I forget, it's a word. It's like a real like science behind it. But we don't
they do it over here. There's like, they get cadavers and they do them in different stages of decomposition to show you what happens so that you can tell how far along it's been.
Yeah.
You know what?
And what we do have is in the autopsy, it says that her body was, quote, mildly decomposed.
Yeah, and it was hot, so she should have been a little bit more decomposed for 4 days. And that's kind of desert, isn't it? Kind of desert, eh?
So I've always thought that was interesting too, the mildly decomposed reference. And other people have said, oh, well, that doesn't, I don't know, because it rained also in between that time. So we're talking about dampness, we're talking about heat.
Mm-hmm. Even dampness effects, you know, that would maybe speed it up with the heat as well, and you've got all that kind of going in against the body, all the elements, you know. It's not as if she was put in a freezer, you know, or so I don't know. Maybe she wasn't killed that night. You know, who knows? Who knows what was going on in between, you know?
Yeah. And you know what also I'm thinking too, like in reference to like her being in the explosion, is like if she was just drugged, like where she was incapacitated and then they would put her in the Lexus for the explosion, that sort of like distance Chris or anybody from being like physical as far as, and thank you, Jay. I saw earlier that you gifted membership. So welcome new members. I just didn't want to interrupt. And
thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love soft pretzels, especially with cheese. But
pretzels. Oh no, pretzels over here are more sweet. We have them.
Really?
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is too, like if she was incapacitated and put in the Lexus for the explosion, is it distanced Chris or anybody from being physical in her death? Like she would have just died, passed out in the explosion.
Yeah.
But because Nicole Atkinson shows up,
it spoils the plan, definitely. I mean, see, if you're going to kill your wife, you kind of plan it a bit better than when she comes home from, you know.
And remember Frank Sr.'s interview, he was like, I don't know why he would bring them out to where he worked. There's so many places in Colorado that he could have put them. Why would he bring him to the work site?
Exactly, because that's the first place they're going to search. It's crazy what he done. Like, unless he thought, hey, I'm going to put them there. I've got enough time. I'm going to have a few days before anybody notices. The Shanann was too online for that to work. I don't think he realised.
He has that tracker in his truck.
That's right, yeah.
And the thing too is other people who work in the oil industry, aka NK, aka leave Jim alone, they know that he has that tracking in his truck. And Troy, let's not forget about Troy.
Yeah. Troy, yeah.
So they all know once he leaves to go meet Nicole Atkinson and the cops that like, okay, if we're going to pin this all on him and back out of this with us being involved on any level, like we got to keep them here at the oil site because that's the only place that his truck went that day.
Exactly. And the thing is, they know the police are going to keep him at the house for hours.
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to be searching the house first and round about that area. So, yeah, it'd be best if there was people involved. It would be better to keep them there, you know, if they were going to pin it all on Chris and just kind of walk away, you know, and I don't know, you know, there's so many things that don't add up. They don't add up at all, you know.
And when Chris is texting NK in Nate's living room and he sends her the text that says, OMG, that's ridiculous. They would absolutely freak out. What do you think that was about?
What time was that? Oh, right, yeah. I think it was something to do with who was there. He was in Nate's, wasn't he, at the time when that text came through?
Yeah.
So I wonder if she was talking maybe about their affair, or, you know, like, have you told them about her affair?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, they would freak out.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
I know.
It's a hard one because you don't see what was said before.
Right.
Like, how can they find all the other bits of text messages, but certain ones they can't bring back.
They're lying.
You know, there's got to be one before that, and she's like, "Oh, it's about honey nut lips or
She said it was
sparkles or
about unicorn cereal. Right, exactly.
yeah."
It was not about breakfast cereal.
Oh my God, yeah, they're missing. They're not going to care about blooming unicorn cereal, you know. But and it's funny how she didn't sign in that day, didn't she? Not she just signed out.
Yeah.
Is that right?
She just sent that. They asked, and law enforcement asked NK what it meant. She said it was about unicorn cereal. We never have on record them ask Chris what his own text messages and his own words meant.
Exactly.
He's never asked.
You know,
so what was
even the 5-hour Wisconsin one? When I watched that, I was like, ask him this, press on that. You know, don't just go with that answer. You know, press him because he's one of the guys, especially I think with women. If you pressed him and kept pressing him, eventually you'd go right, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
even if he would lie, I think that
eventually you would get
like he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
But they never even asked him.
No, they spent 5 hours, and yeah, apart from saying yeah, I done it, and Shanann didn't. We didn't really get much more. Like we got the odd details of what happened, but he did slip up a few times. He said we instead of I.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were on the bed, on top of Shanann, when we were on top of Shanann.
And when he
things
said
like
what
that.
we were saying and what she was saying.
So you just wonder what she walked into that night.
Oh, I know.
You know?
And I think a lot of that interview is edited. Like, I think that they talked about way more stuff, but they're like, no, we can't put this out there. Like, I think that they are keeping stuff from that prison interview like under wraps.
And I mean, that was 5 hours. Yeah.
Right. And some of because people along the way, like myself and other channels, Unjustified also, like we've enhanced that audio the best we can because, of course, it was terrible when they first. And you can hear like parts where it's like, this just sounds edited. Like they just like cut it and then started up.
Yeah. And then they've started it up again. Yeah. And then they try, I think, and excuse it for breaks.
Yeah.
Breaks,
And remember, they were in like the computer room and it had like the AC unit. It's like, how convenient. And there were times when they would.
I'm sure they could have found a quieter place.
Right. In that whole place, like you couldn't have found something that didn't have an AC unit blasting. There was a part too in that where Chris starts saying something and like Tammy will like change the subject or she'll interrupt him or she'll
a few times I was like, shut up, just let him speak. Just
literally.
You know? She was like, it was as if she was feeding them.
Shut up.
You know, she was feeding them what to say, basically.
Always. From the day they met. But
she should have just.
I wonder if Bella and Cece noticed their backpacks weren't ready for school that morning. So there was a whole deep dive that CDT and I did together where we located the backpacks in the office. And
that's right behind the door, wasn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like over to the left of the room, like when you walk in. And it was like, it's so hard because the place kind of got like tampered with like right away. Like,
yeah, there were so many people in that.
From the office and brought it to the kitchen, and they let Chris stay in that house that night, and he does all this cleaning. And like when you look at the body camera footage from the first day and like the next day, things are subtly changed in the house. So there's a point in the second search body camera footage where you see the backpacks and they've been like emptied. Like there's Ziploc where they had like extra clothes in, like in case they had an accident. and then they had their blanket was like falling out of. You guys have to check it out. I put the stream on my Watts playlist.
Oh, and remember the Yankee blanket that he said one of the kids took was actually, do you remember we went through it? It was actually in the Watts' bedroom at the side of the telly. Do you remember?
Yeah.
No, you maybe have to go back and watch that. But that was sitting there, unless there was two of them. There might have been two Yankee.
I know. It's like, did Bella have her own, and then Cece had her own?
Yeah.
The fact is, we don't find any of the toys and anything that they allegedly left with that day.
Yeah, because he said that they were buried with Shanann, or they were put down the tank, or you would have found them.
Well, he was, exactly. He was asked by Tammy if he put them in the tanks, and he said no. And then he said they were out underneath the fitted sheet. And then we have a law enforcement notes that pretty much say, like, we checked under the sheet and there was no toys or blankets there. It's like, so describing things like, why do
and then he stopped for 4 minutes, didn't he, before he went home? Stopped for 4 minutes somewhere.
Yeah, he made a stop that they calculated from his work vehicle, like knew that he had stopped somewhere. And I believe he like stopped at like the house that the realtor was like hoping to show him or something. So,
yeah, he was feeling lucky, you know.
Right.
But I just wonder, was he meeting Enki there to give her evidence to take away? You know, maybe he did clean the whole place up. You know, the sheet and that, and she went back.
He dumped his clothes like after digging the shallow grave, like in a hurry. Like, did he dump his clothing like somewhere? And
but
then
that place should have been searched straight away. You know.
Yeah. And speaking of things being searched and like knowing about like backpacks and stuff, we see inside the fridge in the basement, but we don't see inside the fridge upstairs, like in their body camera footage and like.
That's right. Yeah, they don't open that.
Wondered, did it show their packed lunches in the fridge upstairs? Because you guys got to think is like, in my theory, the kids weren't a part of the plan. So if they showed us inside the fridge, it would help me see like, oh, he didn't even pack the lunches like he claimed.
Yeah, I can see it both ways. Either they were part of the plan, but I kind of feel more that they walked in and something, they gave them something to make them drowsier, I think. And I think they woke up with maybe the shouting or whatever happened, you know. And then they had to get rid of them because they were witnesses to everything. I mean, Bella was 5. I mean, you've got a 5, 6-year-old. I bet she could tell you half of what goes on in your day. So, you know.
And I think that NK's lying when she says she never met the kids. Like, I believe she met them.
She was probably called something else, but yeah.
And like,
but didn't Bella say at the birthday party we were digging in the dirt? Remember on the Sunday?
Said, no, that's kind of been like
misconstrued.
A child that was at the birthday party, once they found out that the girls were missing, like said to his parents, I see them in a grave, or I see them in a hole, or something.
Oh, right.
And so they were like, what? And that was like stated by like the father of the child, I think, in an interview or something. So that, I mean, that's weird either way.
Yeah.
But the thing too is, if she met the girls,
I thought it'd been said. Bella had said it to the boy. I've got it wrong.
No, you're fine. A lot of people have thought that, but it was something similar, but not 100%.
Yeah.
I think that if she met the girls, it was like you said, like she was told that she was somebody else, or they only met her like that weekend because they had a plan to get rid of Shanann. So like Bella never would have said anything about her to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you said, like they just witnessed too much. And once the plan starts falling apart, they're panicking and they're like, dude, no, we can't keep these witnesses. Like, you have cops at your house right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you've got kids screaming and crying, although they were pretty calm. That's what makes me think they were drugged. Because when parents are arguing, kids come in and they're screaming. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you know yourself, but you know what I mean.
No,
If there's a fight going on and somebody's grabbing Shanann and putting her on the bed and Chris is on top of her and the kids walk in, they're going to be screaming for their mum.
And remember,
there was
Coder
no
asked
screaming.
so Chris is telling Coder like that he's straddling her, talking to her, which is BS. Like, no.
No, she's pregnant. There's no way you're sitting on top of,
right.
You know.
Come on. Chris, or they say, did Bella hear it something? And Chris says, obviously. And then they say, well, what did you say to her? And he's like, I told her mommy was sick or mommy's not feeling good. And it's like, I wonder if that really did happen. Like, where they bombard Shanann. Obviously, there's a scuffle or scream or something. And Bella's like, anticipating her mom coming home, so maybe was already restless. And then,
because her mum was late, so she might not have actually fully went to sleep.
Yeah.
Because she knew her mum was late coming home.
And maybe
she was a mummy's girl.
People around. Like, why are these people like around? Or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I always find that the house is spotless apart from the office.
Yeah.
Which is unusual. It's like, did she walk into her office and the attack happened there? It would be far enough maybe away for the kids maybe not to hear some of it. But if they were awake, or Bella was such a light sleeper, maybe she came downstairs, seen what was going on. You don't know. I don't know if she ever even made it up the stairs. I don't know. I know it says on her watch she done a flight of stairs. I can't remember if it's going up or going down. Remember she wears the watch with the steps.
Yes, yeah, that her Apple Watch detected like flights climbing. I need to relook at that and the router.
We need to actually do that because I think we're that far into it now that we're like, right, we need to go back and refresh our memory a wee bit on everything.
In other cases, that information is vital, like her Apple Watch information and the router information, like.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that off by heart.
Yes.
2 years ago, we could have rhymed that off.
Oh, I know. There's too much to keep up with and too many topics and avenues.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens when you close something down with a plea deal in, 3 months?
Yeah, in fact, 8 weeks to the day.
Has anyone seen a case of this magnitude closed down in that time period since?
Remember I put the pictures up? They took the footprints of TW on the 4th.
Yeah.
And the plea deal was done on the 8th.
Yeah.
Remember they went to the prison, they took the prints off his feet.
Oh my God, I totally forgot the dates of that. So they took his, so there was a footprint found at Survey on one of the black trash bags.
Yeah. Yeah.
They go to the jail.
They take Shanann's, obviously, off her body.
Yeah.
And then they go to the jail and they take his footprints.
Yeah.
Because the pictures that are on our group, if you look through our stuff, you'll find the pictures, our posts.
Yeah.
And you see the woman going down and him pressing on it. And I'm sure that's like the 4th of October, and by the 8th, he makes a plea deal, So, like,
and
it's
we never found out
4 days after. Yeah,
or
we never found out.
Footprints.
But something freaked him out enough to be like, no, I'm pleading guilty.
Yeah, I'm going to fly to North Carolina personally. It was the district attorney, Baumhover, and was it the assistant district attorney? Flew to North Carolina? I don't know, but Christina on the screen says Zawoki just got asked by Shanann's parents for him to stop his videos. What the hell? I hadn't heard that.
She's still around, yeah. God. You know, I've been away for a wee while, but for personal reasons, but I didn't think he was still about, yeah.
I haven't been able to, I mean, honestly, guys, like
So I've not watched any of his videos, so I don't really know much about him, but I know that he was kind of taking content from our group and from our work, because I remember going, hang on, that's from our group, you know?
That's our discussion.
Yeah,
Other
we discussed
YouTubers
that
have
about
been
3
doing
years
that
ago.
since day one,
You
too.
know, yeah.
But that
All
just
right.
means we're just so good at our research that others are like, wow, that's interesting. I want to show. But
yeah,
the last I knew, which was like, I don't even know, maybe 5. This case has been 7 years. It might have been like 6 years or 5 years ago that Shanann's family had said that I think it was on Mommy Rambling's channel, that they don't mind people discussing the case, but they would prefer that you reference and source the discovery files.
Yeah. And also that you didn't bash Shanann or the kids. That was
And
one of the...
don't. Right. And we've done such a good job of kind of keeping our group, like, not victim shaming, and like our chats here and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we do get the odd ones trying their luck, but
right.
You know,
And
that's what you're going to get.
I want to know the full story of that, though, because if that's the case, I'm curious.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. That's something.
All I know is I've always told my channel.
What's his content? What is his content? Who does he believe killed the girls? And is he a Shanann basher or?
No. I don't know. I'd like to know, like Cindy said, was it really her family? Because there's been times that I'm on my videos and I've seen somebody comments and they're like, just let them rest. And it's like, we can still honor their memory, and we can still, I don't know, to me, discussing the case and how awfully it was handled, I think does justice.
Exactly. You know, having one person in jail isn't justice. When you think there's more involved, it should be the whole lot, you know.
Right.
That's what I believe. I don't like when in a murder case they catch one and then that's it, case is solved. We've caught one of the 4 killers or whatever, you know. No, that's not justice. You get everybody involved in the conspiracy, anything, you know, right up to whatever they've done, you know. And Enki definitely has a lot more to answer for, you know, than just being a witness.
I hope this doesn't sound disrespectful, but like, I can't imagine anybody telling me to stop discussing something that like I want to discuss.
Yeah, definitely. I know.
It's not, think about it, guys. I took almost a year break from discussing this case.
Yeah.
So
I remember we changed and you done Idaho and you done Delphi and you done everything,
my God, yeah.
you know. Because I think it got to the point we were.
I'll read what he posted, but I just have to say, it's like, I'm sorry, but there's, and I can say hundreds because there is hundreds of people who tell me to keep discussing this case. Like when I was out on maternity leave, all the comments on the videos, like, when are you coming back? We miss your live streams. Okay, James, have a good night. I don't know. I can't. So he says this is an hour ago posted on his community page. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just not the type of person to just bow down when somebody says stop talking about, like, I'm sorry, like, I think that this case is bigger than just the victims and the victim's family. Like, I think this case has like shown such level of corruption and deception from powers that are so high up there that, you know, the little person like me and Zawoki, like, how are we supposed to, like, we're not hurting anything by discussing it, in my opinion. So he says, well, guys, the Watts videos are done. I have been asked by the Ruseks to stop, so I will. I will continue crime content, but the Watts case unfortunately has to come to a close. I'm going to respect their wishes. I do not want drama, nor do I want to be hateful either. God will have his day with Kessinger. She will have to answer. I'm sorry, everyone, to let you down, but Watts' case is silenced again. See you in the next video, and please share it with your friends and family. Like, for someone like me who has covered this case and like dug so deep into it, to be harassed so many years by people that I know are linked to Jim and NK. Like, I just know there's troll armies out there that 100% are linked to them.
Yeah, I mean, but we've never had anything from the Ruseks. We've never had them say, you know, because we've never been disrespectful in any way to them. And we've been going a pretty long time, you know,
and
to be,
I tell my
not to have anything.
Yeah, and I try to tell my community, please, if you want to support the family, Sandy's got a cooking channel, Frankie's got a channel, subscribe to them, support them. I've promoted the book that Sandy has stated that she'll be writing. You know what I mean? I think that there's just so much in this case that needs to be like discussed, that I feel so strongly that NK is involved. Like, it doesn't matter to me that the family's saying, like, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, I can see from their point, probably they're wanting to move on, but at the same time, don't watch it. You know, that's the thing.
It's like, I'm live Sunday nights at 8. Like, just avoid.
Avoid it all.
I'm sorry if that sounds crass. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. I just can't let.
I mean, that's been a big part of our life. 7 years is a long time, you know, to just
and think
go,
about
right, okay, well.
So District Attorney Rourke has told us that we're conspiracy theorists and all that, like on podcasts and networks. Remember, he's stated stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we still carried on because it's like, dude, you're not going to try to discredit us or make us.
But we were different from the other channels. We weren't bashing or being disrespectful to Shanann or the kids. We made up pretty strict rules at the beginning. Remember, we were like, right, you don't stick by these, you're out.
Right. Follow the rules. Don't victim blame Shanann.
Yeah. Have your theories, have your debates, but don't get nasty, you know, with each other.
Exactly.
You know, things like that. So,
and there's been times when, you know, remember Detective Baumhover wrote his blog about PTSD?
Yeah. I remember just before he retired.
Blog, something similar, of saying those conspiracy theorists who think that there's more to the Mistress, like there was pretty much in his blog about PTSD. He also added in that we're all wrong and that Nicole's not involved. And it's like, even after that, I didn't
Saint Nicole. Saint Nicole.
Right.
You could tell even she was I'm sorry, but who else at the age she was, gets a parent in with them in an interview? I wouldn't even get in with my daughter in Scotland. And she's 19. You know?
Yeah.
For an interview. A police interview. Yeah.
Let me show you this thing.
Right, where am I watching it? I'll watch it on my tablet.
Hold on. So I got sent this by my friend in the community. And we weren't even discussing Watts. She just sent it to me and I was like, oh, I totally believe it. And I've been attacked this way by a troll army. So hold on, guys. And I said, you know what? I should show that on my next Watts Live, because this is absolutely how trolls are, like, on the internet, especially in reference to this case. hold on, I'll show you and your mind's going to be blown. So this is a TikToker, but he's sharing something pretty interesting. And I'm like, oh yeah.
I need to stop doing that. I'm doing that. I'm doing sorry. Keep forgetting we're live and I'm like,
oh my God, I do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, don't touch your nose. Don't your nose. No, I'm just kidding. All right. No, watch this, guys.
Right,
I'm telling you, and Scottish Queen will verify that this absolutely happens, like in our Facebook group too. Some account will come in that looks fake, that the picture is like some like cartoon character or something, and they say the same thing over and over. You guys think you know more than the FBI. Nicole Kessinger wasn't involved. She's been cleared by law enforcement. Like the same things over and over are said.
Being cleared doesn't mean you're innocent. O.J. Simpson wasn't innocent, but he was clear. I'm saying nothing.
Well, yeah,
not going to start a fight with the people that supported O.J. Simpson. I'm not going to. That's my opinion, but you know, just because you're cleared doesn't mean you're innocent. It just means you got away with it. You know, my opinion. But on you go.
And honestly, no shade at the families involved in these cases, but they're looking at this case from a very personal perspective. Like I'm looking at this case from someone who likes true crime, and like that's there. Believe it or not, that we are a community, and this community reaches Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. You know what I mean? The true crime community. You know, we're not out, and this sounds crass, but we're not out to like listen to the families of the victims. We're out to find the truth in the cases.
Yeah, and we're out to also discuss it with other people, you know, other members that maybe in other groups wouldn't feel safe to give their opinion. Because there is groups that if you say something they don't like, they attack you and they go for the throat, you know, definitely. Right. So we try to make our group, I think, a safe place as well. You know.
But look at that.
Okay.
And you guys who have been on in the community for a while, you guys see these comments too that are over and over, like just you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, fucking A. Here comes attempt number 7. I'm trying to post about fucking comment farms. Here we go. Here's a clip.
Sorry, I forgot that guy was like swearing. But look what he's showing. So he's trying to post about comment farms. And comment farms, in my opinion, are the same thing as a troll army. So look what he's showing you guys.
Yes, those are telephones being lighted into slots. It gets better.
Wow.
I wish he didn't have this AC/DC music playing because I don't want to get copyright struck. But let me try to play it muted.
Yeah, try that.
We'll just read
because we can read what he's saying.
Yeah.
Hang on till I get my glasses. Wait.
Okay.
I need glasses. Right, go. I'll read it off the tablet.
And everyone who hasn't hit the like, do so now, please. So he said it gets better, watch. And he's showing this, I don't know, search board or whatever. He's like, in case you're wondering, you know, who, of course I have to rewind it. They're doing right. Who is answering you like, damn, you blocked somebody, and then poof, another account just finishes the sentence. Check it out. So there's been times where you'll get trolled, you block the account, and then all of a sudden a new one pops up and it starts saying the same thing that the person was saying that you just blocked. And he's basically showing us that these troll armies use these switchboards, and they have all these different devices with different accounts along the way. And all those accounts connected to that switchboard have a purpose to just perpetuate and to keep a narrative going in the comment section and in live chats that basically say the same narrative over and over. So for example, in our case, in the Watts case, it would be the people who say, so you think you know more than FBI, and Chris acted alone, and NK is innocent. So when we talk about, the troll armies, like this is exactly what I picture as protecting Leave Jim Alone and NK. So
yeah, definitely.
On one computer, look, and you've seen the boxes, but have you seen the whole wall of phones? Check it out. Look at this. And for us to say like, no, NK and Jim aren't doing that. If you were NK and Jim and people were looking into you guys the way that we look into them, I think you'd be probably attempting this stuff too.
I bet you it's them, the two of them at one wall each.
Right. Look at this.
Wow.
So one gets blocked from a channel or from our Facebook group, and then boom, another one shows up, says the same thing. And it's like, well, what's the point? What are you getting at? It's like, well, because if they keep posting on our Facebook and our my YouTube stuff the same things, like then people will think like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Like this YouTuber doesn't know more than the FBI. Who are they to say that there's more involvement with other people? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But that's crazy. I didn't think anybody put so much effort.
Because they're involved. So to them, it's like, you know what? This is, of course, my opinion. I think it's worth it to them because of their life that they realize like that we're kind of digging into.
Yeah, maybe, but still, we'll still be here in 10 years probably, sitting going through it, and maybe one day we will get the truth off of Chris. I doubt it, but
I know.
I'm hoping that one day finally just goes, look, enough's enough.
I wonder
I'm
if
going to tell you
wait until like the Ruseks have passed and his parents have passed.
Maybe that is what he's doing, because maybe he's ashamed to be in front of them, especially his mother, who thinks the sun shines out his backside.
Right.
But, and
that's
everybody
a whole discussion for another live stream, right?
Yep. Oh God. Yeah, that woman.
I really appreciate you coming on, and I want you to come on again anytime you want.
Oh, I'll be on the next time. You won't get rid of me until the people start saying, "Don't let her on again. Don't let her on again."
Oh my gosh, these trolls have come into my panel lives the last few weeks, attacked Lucy Goosey, Teresa from Criminality, Jen Lou from the Ward Studies, and I'm like, no one's gonna want to come on with me because these trolls are like attack. It's just so annoying, and like I try to hold, like my chat.
At the end of the day, they'll be making fun of me and trying to do the false Scottish accent, and
I love it. No one's gonna make fun of my friends, is what I made clear.
Yeah, but yeah, it was fun. It was good to be back, and I will be back. Yeah, definitely.
Next week I'll be more rested because we went to the beach. We were trying to like
you were at the beach today.
Because summer's over, so we're like, let's just go today. And then I was like getting tired, and I was like, oh gosh, I can't cancel on Scottish Queen. Like
no, I would have done it, but no, I was more like getting ready, and my daughter was helping me, get the camera on, get the phone on, and I've got my tablet down here because I haven't got a mic or anything. I'm not up to date like you.
Oh my gosh, I'm not.
With the mic and the headphones and the wee light behind you. I'm sitting in my kitchen.
Turn that on and make it look like, she's a professional streamer.
So, and then my daughter was like, it's like 20 past 12, 20 past 1. I'm like, right, I better hurry up.
I know, I'm so happy that she's probably like, I'm ready for bed. But yeah, I appreciate it. And next week we'll line something again to have our little discussion. We didn't get through those clips much, but I don't really need to play like those news clips.
No, we can discuss. We can discuss. To be honest, I'll come on and discuss whatever you want to discuss. Just play it at me and we'll discuss.
Yeah, we'll just go through the questions in our Facebook group on that.
Yeah,
post and then
I think what we should do is ask people what they want, and can I maybe during the week ask on the group what they want to know, and we'll try and answer them, you know, as best, or give our opinion on them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so even replay viewers, if you guys have a question, we will
definitely
try to touch on it next week.
And I'm just looking at my face and I'm getting so old now.
Oh gosh.
I'm so young the last time I was on here. It was great.
A lot happens in 7 years. I look younger too, trust me. Luckily, you can only see me this much up, so you can't really tell.
That's why I'm doing it. Everything's dark behind. I've got I borrowed, remember I was saying I borrowed my daughter's light. That's behind me. And I'm pure darkness around me, so that can't see nothing.
I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. And we'll do it again next week too. So
yeah, definitely. I'll be there. Okay.
All right. Awesome. So again, thanks everybody in chat for those.
Thank you.
Yes.
And thanks again to everybody. I haven't read any comments, but I'll go back and reread them. So thanks again. Yeah. Bye-bye. I'll see you. Well, I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Yes, I'll message you and I'll message the mods and all that. So bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.